Hey guys, how you doing? I'm doing pretty good. Um, just going to tell you some stories today. I know you're itchy. Yeah, I know. I know. Ah, man. Allergies. Okay. I'm sorry, buddy. No, you go on. Go on. Well, first of all, I gotta show you two things. Three things, actually. Um, I got this the other day from a subscriber, which will remain nameless because she doesn't want me to tell her name. I got this shirt that I think is so cool. This is a list of people who asked for your opinion. That's so me. Thank you. And then I was out. Just a minute. Let me show this first, and I will scratch your back, okay? I went out with Big Dave a couple of days ago, and he brought me a present, and I'm thinking, whoa, I got a present, woohoo! He not only took me out to dinner and deer hunting, he brought me a present too. Woo! Can I please do this? Go on, go on. I'll be right at you in a minute. So he knows I like Halloween, right? So he got me, something for my van that I'm going to put up. Isn't that the cutest thing? And here's another one. I got her caught. Got him caught. Okay. Aren't those adorable? Oh my gosh. Oh wait, let me get her. I don't know if her arms go. I don't think her arms go up. But she has a little wand. Those are so cool. I love those. I had a card with her name on it, and I don't know what I did with it, of course. But I will get that from Dave again in case anybody wants something like this. They can contact her. And that's cool. I like it. I like it. Anyway, let's get to the Spook Fest. I was trying to remember what stories I've told and, everything. But, so, let's see. Now I can't think of any. Oh my God, this is horrible. Horrible. Hold on for a minute. Okay, that's not exactly Halloween, but this will help me get into the spirit of the whole thing. Um, um, when I was, oh my God, 11, 12, something like that, Aunt Mary and Uncle Bill and their two sons came over to our house, and they were just getting ready to leave, And Dad says, "Oh my gosh, everybody come out here and look in the sky." Well, we all run out there, and there's this oval thing with red lights all around it, you know. Now, living by the Speedway, Indianapolis 500, the Goodyear Blimp was always around, you know. But this thing was totally. Hold on. Okay. Had to take the bottoms out. I can't talk. Um, but there was no sound, and you can hear the blimp, the Goodyear Blimp. You can hear the motor running. And it kind of hovered over our house a little bit. And we just stood there staring at it, you know, sitting there. And then all of a sudden it just went, whoosh, and it left. And even if it was a Goodyear Blimp, it couldn't have went that fast. We never found out what it was. It wasn't in the paper or anything. What? Oh, come here, you big baby. Come here. Then my dad was telling me about this one time that his friend called him frantically and said, "Can you come over?" And he said, "Yeah, sure." And he said, Dad went over there, and the guy met him, and Dad says, "Oh man, what have you been into? You smell horrible, you know." And the guy says, "I know, and I can't get it off." And he says, "What'd you do? Run into a skunk? I've never smelled anything like that before." And the guy says, "No, I want you to come with me." And he says, "You're not going to believe me, but I'll tell you anyway." He says, "There was a UFO in my backyard." And, you know, Dad said, "Yeah, okay." I don't know. Well, what made it bad was this guy was a preacher, okay? Do you think the preacher would do something like this? Well, anyway, they go out in the backyard, and he said, "I'll prove it to you. It landed right out here." And there was a circle, a burnt circle in the backyard of his house. And he said, "That's where it landed." And Dad went over there, and the guy wouldn't go, but Dad went over there, and he said the smell was horrible, and it smelled just like the guy, okay? I have no idea what happened with that guy, but it was just really strange that, you know, a preacher would call my dad and say, "Hey, come here, I need help." And not to, you know, that just doesn't happen, you know. So it's really, really spooky in Indianapolis. Oh, and in Brown County. I For the newbies, I'll tell you this one. My grandma lived in the country, and the thing was that her driveway down to my uncle's driveway was an Indian path that they always used, you know, to go back and forth to the hunting ground or the burial ground. They were both the opposite ends of the land. And you'd always hear things. You'd always hear things, you know, gravel moving and all that stuff. And so my dad and Uncle Jimmy got up on top of Grandma's house and said, "Okay, we're going to get these fools that are are trying to scare everybody. So it was a clear night. It was a clear night. The moon was out, so they could see pretty good, you know. So they waited and waited and waited, and finally they hear footsteps on the gravel. Okay, so they had their shotguns, right? And they filled it with rock salt. And they said, we will stop these people from scaring the ladies, you know? And so the gravel, it gets closer and closer and closer. And Dad looked at Uncle Jimmy, and Jimmy looked at my dad, and they heard the gravel walking right in front of them. Well, you know, down, but right in front of them, walking down the path. And they looked at each other and had no idea what to do, you know. So we'd heard these stories for a long time, you know. And so Dave, uh, when he was married, first married, him and his wife decided to go to grandma's to camp out overnight. So they went there and they were sleeping, and what was it, Dave that woke up, or Cindy woke up and said, "Hey, it's light out, let's get up." And so the other one got up, and they opened up the tent, and it was black outside. But in front of the tent, there was this big ball of like fire kind of hovering in front of the tent, right? And it stayed there for a second, and it just walked down the path, or bounced down the path, the same path that the Indians walked. Needless to say, Dave's never been back there camping. I'd love to go camping there, though. Oh my God, that'd be so cool. I don't know. Maybe I'll call my cousin and ask him if I can come and camp. Ooh, that'd be fun. But yeah, there's always something going on at my grandma's house. You know, Mom would tell me when she was a girl that Grandma and Grandpa weren't home, and it was dark out, and you know the girls were a little nervous about being there, you know, because they've always heard stuff outside and blah blah blah. So she said, well, we were there, we were upstairs in our room, and all of a sudden we heard someone coming up the steps. And so they had this secret hiding place inside a wall that they all got in. We used to play in it when we were kids, you know. Ooh, let's go inside the wall. But they said they heard the steps coming up the one side, got to the landing, coming up the other side, and that's right where the hidden door was, right? And two of them heard this, okay? It wasn't just one person. Two of the sisters heard it. So they were scared out of their mind. They never heard it go back down. And they stayed in there until Grandma and Grandpa got home. And woo, that was there was one chair in Grandma's house that Grandpa Kakalikas used to sit in all the time. And he died. And now me and my cousin are having an argument over this. I was told he died of leprosy. Okay. She said, no, it's not leprosy. But that's what my mom told me, and that's what it is. So, because a gypsy put a curse on him because he wouldn't give him one of his sheeps when he was in Greece. So He put a curse on him. Said he'd die of a terrible disease. Well, I don't think you can get too much more terrible than leprosy, okay? Anyway. Oh, God, I forgot where I was. Okay. Oh, anyway, Grandpa's chair, right? Um, it was always said that if you sat in that chair at night, you could hear beautiful music, just like you've never heard before, okay? And you'd sit there. But if you moved to try and listen to it, it'd stop, okay? And my dad says, yeah. I don't, I don't know why he didn't believe it, but he doubted it. So one night we were spending the summer down there, and Dad had just come in. Oh, him and my Uncle Jimmy were building something, so we were staying with Grandma. And he come in, and it was dark, and he sat down, and he was just resting there. He said, "I heard the music." And he was so shook up that he heard the music. It was crazy. I've never seen my dad shook up before, but that shook him up. That did shake him up. Um, yeah, that was. I wanted to hear the music. I never did. I never heard the music. Aunt Mary heard the music. My mom's sister, she heard the music. Um, Anywho, okay, what's going on? Uh, ba, 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 ba. I had a run in with I still think it's uh, a devil child. That's all I can say. We were living in a townhouse, right? The next door neighbor had a 2, 3 year old kid. Okay, well, she'd been kicked out of every place they've lived before, and no one knew why. Okay, so right after they moved in, I started having weird dreams. Okay, and she finally opened up to me and said she has a little issue with her son, that things happen when when he's around people, like he was uh, in the playpen, and he had a glass bottle back then, and she heard the glass bottle break, and he was in the playpen, right? When she ran into the room, he was outside the playpen. The broken glass was inside the playpen. He would ride his tricycle uh, out in front of cars and not get hurt, and ask other little kids to do the same thing. Well, they'd run out in front of a car and it, hurt them. Just like that, he would ask them to jump out the second story window, and he did it, and he was fine. And they did it, they broke both their legs. Stuff like this, right? Well, I didn't know whether to believe it or not. People have stories and everything. So I'm sitting in the front room, and I went to get a drink, and I go around. I'm the only one home. Well, the kids are upstairs asleep, but there were no more adults in the house. I go around the corner, down the hall, around the corner, and I bump into somebody. And I said, "Excuse me." Before I even realized what I had done, I had said excuse me to nothing, okay? And I could feel somebody. So that was a little, freaked me out a little bit. And so later, I'm sitting in the house, um, in the same place, on the couch, and I kind of had this feeling about something's not right. So I look down the hall, and there's this thing crawling and smiling. It was so, it was really bad. And it just kept crawling closer and closer. And I said, "Look, you can't hurt me. I'm on Jesus' side." And it went away. Went away. And I talked to the lady, and she says, "Well, this stuff happens, to people that we live next door to." And I said, "Oh, that's awesome." And she says, "He plays with the boy with the red eyes." I'm thinking, great, great. That's awesome. We moved. we we moved. I'm not doing that. You know. Um, oh, what's some other things? I have a lot of things that's gone on. Let's see. I a story my dad told us all the time was the girl in the house with the blue lights in Indianapolis. Okay, it's a famous house. You can look it up. Okay, I think, I don't know if they tore it down yet or not, but you can look it up. Well, this girl was having a birthday party, and she planned it on outside. I think, she's 10, something like that. I don't remember because it's been a long time ago. But she, supposed to have a party outside. She had everything set, and it started to rain, and it started to storm, and she got mad, and she kind of said bad words to God, right? Yeah. Well, lightning came through the window and killed her. Okay. Now on her birthday, it said that um, you can see her uh, form at a certain time in the day when she was hit by lightning. You can see her for a split second. Um, that's one thing. Yeah, look it up. Let me know. Let me know if you guys find anything else about it. Oh, oh, there was this one time my brother was uh, delivering pizza for Domino's, and he had a great big order for boys' school out in East Indianapolis, and so he had to take this one route, and they had to pass a graveyard. Well, it was a clear night and everything, and he had to have he took someone with him for help, right? Well, they go past the graveyard, and they see people out working in the field. Okay, that's kind of weird. No one works in the field at night. And so he, ow, my throat hurts. He sees someone out in the middle of the street, and he slams on the brake. Well, he goes right through the guy. Okay, it was a farmer. Just goes right through the guy, and when they stopped, he looked at his friend. The friend looked at him and he said, "Did you see that?" And he says, "I don't know. What did you see?" Well, they finally regained their composure and went up to the school, and both of them had lost all the color out of their face, right? So the guy, they ring the bell, and the guy comes out, and he says, "Hey, how you doing?" And my brother's kind of standing there, not saying it. He said, "Oh my God, you saw him, didn't you?" And Mike goes, "Saw who? Saw what?" And he goes, "Yeah, yeah, the people that work in the grave or in the field in the daytime or nighttime, and then when they're done, they'll go across the street and get up and go get in their graves." Yeah, well, I heard this story. I tried to find out where it was. And what? I tried to find out where it was, so I went up to visit my mom, and I said, "Okay, guys, let's go see if we can find this boys' school, and we'll just go." So we're driving along. I'm in a clutch, right? I'm driving a stick shift. So we're going down this country road, and out of nowhere, these two big, black, huge dogs come out and start chasing the car, okay? So they said, "Mom, go quick, go quick." So I'm driving, I've got it in fourth gear on a back road, country road. I can't go too much. Well, it had 5 gears, but I couldn't go too much faster, or, country roads are dangerous if you don't know where you're going. Those dogs kept up with the car until we got past a bridge, and they disappeared because the kids were looking, and then they just disappeared. We all sat and looked at each other, and well, how are we going to get home? We have to go back that way. I said, "I don't know how to get out of here unless we go back that way." But we did, and man, I'm flying through there. We didn't see the dogs, but holy crap, they were right on the car and keeping up just fine. Red eyes, okay? Red eyes, black dog, red eyes. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, hellhounds. Oh, wow, it's 23 minutes. I got to cut this short. Maybe I'll make another one. Anyway, that's a few stories that I have experienced. And, I'm sorry. So anyway, if you go out for Halloween tonight, be careful, and take it easy. Take the long way home.